towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer.
Blitz is on. Taylor picks it up. Fires. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Canadian Football League Grey Cup champion.
Taylor again, wide open.
And first-team All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
5 for Steve Taylor. That is a new Nebraska record.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, former All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
Yes, we are back here with weekly rap sessions with the All-American quarterback, Steve Taylor. I'm Jake Buckovan in studio alongside one of the greatest to ever lace it up for the Scarlet and Cream, your Nebraska Cornhuskers. He is Steve Taylor. Steve, how's it going this week? It's going to be a fun week. The Masters are underway. The weather is nice outside. I would assume you've already picked up your golfing clubs this year.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
I took a week off, not by choice, because the weather was just not conducive to golf. And so yesterday I was rusty. I did win a skin though, but I was rusty. So but no, now the weather is warming up. I got a trip planned for next week, my final trip of the season, and then I get back to Huskerland and we start some serious golf. So I will not be here next week, but we're gonna have my buddy, fellow Husker Hall of Famer, sub in for me.
There you go.
Hope he doesn't charge me too much.
Hell yeah. Did he charge you a little bit too much last time?
Now that he's a Hall of Famer, his rates is gone up.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm like, okay, now, all right, now let's calm down a little bit. Yeah. So so hopefully he will fill in for me. And I heard he did a good job last time. And and he's worthy. He meets the standard.
Yeah.
He meets the criteria in order to host the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions for Steve, as he just said, this will be your last chance to get it out in the last couple of weeks. We always like to open it up to you guys if you want to ask Steve Taylor any questions.
Make them good and interesting. I heard you guys had a little controversy or a little contentious text on yesterday in regards to the captain.
Yes, that's
and his
right.
status with the Huskers. It was quite entertaining.
It was pretty entertaining.
I wish I could have been in the studio for that.
It's always tough to ask you because you've been you're probably asked every week, where do you rank yourself among Nebraska quarterbacks? It's always going to be an awkward question. You're like, well,
I don't rank myself.
Right.
I have my own feelings, but the public does that.
Yeah.
Or the pundits or whomever. And most of the time I get a favorable rating. So
yes, that's correct. Yeah.
But I will say the most impressive one, which unbeknownst to me, is that my wife came out and she saw this on social media, that some pundit or someone did an analytical approach to the quarterbacks and whatnot. And you got that adjusted a little better there. And apparently, if you took in, your statistics, the strength of schedule, your rankings and everything and production, apparently I was ranked 4th.
Oh, wow.
I was a little surprised with that. I'm like, that's pretty tall cotton when you look at everything else. Not just when you look at just, what you did from an analytical standpoint and strength of schedule, I was ranked 4th. So I go off of what the public say.
Yeah.
And then people have their favorites.
Yeah.
But I'm consistently definitely for sure in the top 10, and I approach the top 5 quite a bit. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I was curious, the captain, how did he take it? How did he take it?
Well, I think, what was it? He was arguing for top 10, which is.
Oh, he was, huh?
Yeah, which.
Oh. What was his argument? What was his argument? What was his case?
Well, he's a blocking tight end, of course.
Blocking tight end.
You can't really go off the statistics as much with him.
So you narrowed it down to blocking tight ends, the category.
No, we didn't necessarily.
You went to blocking tight ends versus just tight ends.
I think that would have worked better for him. We didn't necessarily. I think he started trying to argue top 10, and then he said name 10, and then the ticket audience did. Terrell tried to put some people together as well, and I think there's been some really good tight ends here.
Oh,
so,
we have. Yeah. I tell you, I was glad to hear that because my wife was talking about it. And she said, you know what, Steve, I would rank Todd Milliken in the top 5, which played with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of felt good about that, right? Guys I play with and they rank kind of high. And she told me this. I was like, yeah, Milliken was quite the force.
Yeah.
And I would have to say, Bando, as far as blocking tight ends, Bando may be right up there with the best of them.
Yeah.
Those are 2 guys I play with. So anyway,
Was it was pretty clearly defined who the receiving tight end was and who the blocking tight end was?
Oh,
For
as
you?
far as what? For me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Great
oh
things,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Milliken was pretty much our receiving tight end, and Bando came in for pretty much for blocking. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was a little heavier, a little bit more physical. Milliken was faster, slender. But I will say, Bando had soft hands.
Yeah.
His hands were soft. He can catch the football. I guess what's him had bricks. I heard this story about. I hear that story, but anyway.
Yeah.
But no, Bando, although he was a great blocking tight end, he had pretty soft hands. He can catch. He never dropped a pass.
Oh yeah. Well,
I was
that
fortunate
always
enough to have
helps,
some pretty
yeah.
good tight ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to feel like, and that's part of it too, is when you break down like all that stuff, it's still 11 guys out there on the field. So the amount of help you get, even at each position,
Oh, yes,
position,
for sure.
for Nebraska over the years has been great for those years, the Tom Osborne years and
Yeah.
all that. And then at certain times over the last 20 years as well. So it's really hard. I mean, you can, again, if you just
And
know
I don't-
stats, you can rank them.
I know,
but
and
other
I
than
don't.
that-
I don't like ranking players just because.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much that goes into that.
Yeah.
I'm on the good side and bad side of that often and everything. I was watching a clip just the other day on TNT with Charles Barkley and Shaq, right? And Barkley had all these comments and everything. And I don't know if you ever seen this clip on social media, but Shaq has this huge cup and it has "Shut up, I have 4 rings." So Barkley was going on, and then Shaq just had enough and just grabbed this huge cup and started drinking out of it. Read the cup, read the cup, and Barkley was speechless. He couldn't say anything. So
yeah.
it's kind of funny how.
Well, that's always a pretty good argument, and that's for Sean's argument too for the tight ends. Is or of any players altogether. I told him you're in like the 0.001% of college athletes in general that have won 3 national titles.
And
So,
so is,
you've got something.
but so are the other guys that probably
Sure.
never played it down.
There are guys, yeah,
they got 3 championship rings too. You know?
right? It's not the only way to
It's
measure
not-
it,
yeah,
but it's
not-
at least
I'm
something.
just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. Like if you're on the roster, you got 3 national championship rings,
Yeah,
regardless of how many snaps you may have played. But I give them that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So
I just thought it was great radio, great entertainment, and I don't know who the texter was, but
yeah.
whatever. They must have had enough of it. But anyway, so it was fun. It was
Yeah.
fun and entertaining. That's all. It
Well,
really
and
was.
that's what we try to do. At least is
That's
at
what we
least
try to do.
entertain, right?
It is kind of talk radio
Yeah,
since we're like have no spring game.
yeah.
I feel like spring ball does not even exist. I mean, they're keeping everything in house, and
Yeah.
it's just a different day and age, right? So we got to make up our own stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with these Husker games. Are you looking forward to it? Are you going to go?
Go to what?
So there's Husker games. There's at least like drills and
Drills?
there's like taco, or I should say food trucks outside.
No.
You don't think so?
It depends on what day it is.
Yeah, or
If
just
it's
kind
on
of
a
how.
Wednesday and they
Yeah.
have Wednesday wings and whiskey, then I'm in.
Well, I think
Or
it's
if
still on
it's a Tuesday
Saturday.
and they got tequila and Taco Tuesdays, well, I can't go because I'm golfing and I have my show. No. So if it's no, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta think about that. I do plan on going down there and watching a couple of practices.
Yeah,
The ones that are open to former players in the media.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, like you
And
said.
maybe if they have a light scrimmage or something, then I will
Oh yeah,
make an attempt.
definitely be interested to see that.
I don't want to go watch someone who may be gone. Right?
Yeah, pick out your favorite player and
And
the
then they
transfer
leave.
portal. Yeah.
Oh God. No.
It is interesting, and I think it is interesting. You brought that up too. Is it is a little bit more tight-lipped as far as they're still giving out some names here and there. Different coaches have different approaches. Coach Butler, the new defensive coordinator, pretty much his mum is the word. Wouldn't pick out different guys.
Dude, this is just comical. I mean, I like to add humor to it and bring lighter situation, and of course, I'm not on social media like every other, media guy or radio personality. I've just been exhausted of it, right? But I do get some stuff on Google.
Yeah.
And I must be on a Dylan Raiola Google thing because every time it comes up, he's right there in my face with everything, right? I mean, so that's interesting. Now I freaking forgot what I was going to say about that. No, so I don't get much Husker news, right? And I don't really look for a Husker news just because you don't know what's clickbait or what's fake, what's real or whatever, right? So it's just an interesting time.
Yeah.
It really is.
I was
So-
going to say that's they've got your algorithm. They got the algorithm of Nebraska people in general. If you put Dylan Raiola in
But
the
I don't put I
tagline,
just,
people
I just have
click on
Husker
it.
football, but everything comes up about him.
Yeah.
Every now and then, it'd be about something else, And of course, my wife and I had this debate the other day. Not a debate, but we were watching the Crown Championship game.
Yeah,
And he was there,
yeah,
front and center.
absolutely.
And my wife goes, "What are you upset about?" And I'm like, "Where's Emmett?
That's right.
I'm like,
Didn't bring
where's
Emmett this
Emmett?
time.
Did he not get the invite to go on the jet?" She goes, "Well, maybe he went on the jet with the AD." I'm like, "Well, the AD and Dylan and Emmett, they sit together all the time right in front of us. He's been there 100%. Why is he not there now?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "You need to stop that." I'm like, "Stop what? I'm just wondering why Emmett wasn't there. If I was Emmett, I'd be kind of upset if there wasn't one more seat on the jet for me to go.
Yeah.
If they went by private jet, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they can all afford to fly out."
Yeah.
And she asked me, she goes, "Would you have gone to that game if I was playing?"
If you were
right?
still quarterback, yeah.
Because this whole NIL thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's spring ball. When do you have time to go and watch a basketball game? I said, I was worried about winning national championships.
Mm.
Coach Osborne told me when I went to him to say, "Hey, I would like to play baseball. I played baseball. I miss it.
Yeah.
I would like to play baseball." And he said, "Steve, that we had a chance to win the national championship. And it'd be nice if we would like to have you in spring. Turner did it. And, I said, well, I'm not Turner. I think I'm a little better at baseball than Turner. But anyway, I got a chance." He goes, "No," he said, "we would like to have you there." So, no, I was worried about winning national championships and doing what we had to do.
So you can educate me a little bit. So he allowed Turner to do it and didn't like the result?
He let Turner played.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't say he didn't like the result or not, but
Yeah.
Turner played.
Just didn't.
And they were in the hunt. They were
Yeah.
in the hunt to win
absolutely,
the
yeah.
national championship. But when I went to him to let him know that, maybe he thought Turner could do it. I don't know, right? He's just been down that road and said, he had not won a national championship at that time.
Yeah.
And we legitimately were in the hunt to do that. And he just said that, it'd be nice to have you there. And of course, I was like, I didn't really want to be out there, raking the dirt and cleaning the fields in 35, 40-degree weather playing baseball too, right?
Right.
And be on a bus ride to Oklahoma and all these places playing baseball and missing school and stuff. So I will be accountable for that, right? But no, he wanted me here, so I was here. I played.
Yeah.
Of course, I got hurt my senior year and didn't go through it, right? But I couldn't play baseball anyway. Anyway, my point is, like, my wife said, "Well, what would you do?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not making $1 million or $2 million or whatever Raiola's making to afford to go do that, right?"
Yeah.
And it's just a different day and age
Yeah,
now,
different
right? I said, "I don't know."
circumstance.
I said, "I think I would." I don't think. I said, "No." I said, "Maybe if it was the NC2A championship game,
yeah,
I may go.
yeah.
But the Crown in Vegas, I doubt that I would go, right?"
Yeah.
But I don't know because I didn't make $1 million or $2 million in college.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because
so-
even the timing of it was Saturday. They had practice. Nebraska was the basketball team, I should say, was like punching their ticket to that. So he had to make that decision based on whether they'd even be there the next day. But it had to be
not if you have a
quick
private
decision.
jet. And I didn't think about that. I just thought he flew commercially. I don't know, right? I just thought he went whatever. But then when she said, "Well, they sit together with the AD," I'm like, "Yeah, they
Often
do."
does,
I'm
yeah.
like, "They do. They sit right in front of us, right? We've got seats, and they sit right there, and it's always the AD and Emmett Smith and
Emmett Johnson. Yeah.
Emmett Johnson, and then Raiola, and then sometimes some coaches will come and fill those seats, and the CFO of Chief Operating Officer Haven would come and stand there, and we'll sit there and chat." I'm like, so I was like, okay, now I see that. I see that now. If you got a private jet, it's a day trip.
Yeah.
It's a day trip, right?
Yeah.
It's fun. You don't miss school or whatever. It's a day trip.
On a Sunday. Yeah.
It's a Sunday, right? And they were not practicing, obviously, right?
No.
I said, so it would be fun.
Yeah.
It kind of would be fun to do that. So I probably would have gone, but I thought about this. I said, how do you think Broderick Thomas would feel if I went on that trip and Broderick didn't go?
Mm.
Or if Broderick went and then I didn't go? I would not be very happy about that.
Interesting.
I
yeah.
didn't get the invite.
Well, and I mean, there is something behind that. Is that Dylan is Dylan's the franchise quarterback?
Yeah,
so
but he hasn't done anything.
Right, and we all get that.
I mean, I'm no offense to him.
Right.
No offense. I'm not saying that in a negative way, right?
Right, yeah.
And I told my wife this, right? I said, I don't know. I said, I would just with me to be out there like that, I would kind of want to feel like I'm kind of worthy a little bit, just besides the hype and the money. Like I'm really like that guy.
Yeah.
I said, but ultimately nothing has been accomplished yet. It's early, right? I said, so I don't know. It was an interesting question when she opposed that to me, when she presented that to me.
Well, I think it's just an interesting topic altogether because there are a lot of different, varying opinions. Some people are like, okay, it's okay. And then eventually it kind of wears on and they're like, why is he always there? And then there are other people who are saying he's just supporting his university. Yeah, and he's got the means to do it. So
and then my wife got mad to me. I said, honey, you just don't understand. You're not an athlete.
Yeah.
You didn't play. I said, you didn't play. Some things you like, just like I say, like, it's like you giving birth. I can't tell you what it's like giving birth, right? I mean, like, I can think I know what it's like. I can imagine what it's like, but I didn't physically go through it. So I'm not qualified to talk about that.
That's right.
But this, I think I'm more than qualified. So it's an interesting conversation to have because it comes up quite a bit, with this whole NIL deal. And I'm happy for these players. I'm extremely happy for them. And because, of course, like when you're watching The Crown, what did you hear the whole time? What was the dominant conversation of The Crown? What do you think it was? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
What do you think the dominant conversation was with the broadcast, with the broadcasters?
I mean, they were pretty excited about Bryce Williams throughout the
Okay,
week.
not that.
But outside of basketball, you mean?
No. What do you think the number one thing that they always talked about?
I don't know.
No. It was the money.
The money. Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
The winner gets $300,000.
Yes,
$300,000. That's all it was. That's what you heard. Probably every third or fourth line.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, they did bring that up quite a bit. Yeah.
So as a player who played, and I'm financially okay, right? I'm financially okay. Not that makes any difference because I still, it's brought to your attention all the time, right? Who would not want a few more zeros in their account?
Right. Yeah. No matter how much money you want, you want more. Yeah.
Trump wants more, right?
Yeah.
We all want more, right? So it's constantly brought up, and that's all you heard during The Crown was how much money the players are going to get, which is rightfully so, right? What do they get? What do they get for March Madness? They get paid. I thought about that. Did the NC2A players get a bonus or to win that? Did you hear that? I never heard that once. Watching all the March Madness games.
No, there's nothing built in. So like the what Nebraska played in the Crown tournament, it's built in for NIL. I mean, that's kind of what the tournament's around.
This was on top of it, though.
Yeah,
the Crown paid out on top of it, which was the inaugural year of the Crown.
Right.
But I never heard anything about what money was going to be distributed to the university or NIL as far as the NC2A championship games and playoffs. Did you hear that?
I think
I watched them all.
Yeah, that's not like within the framework of it. I think if you move on throughout the tournament, you do get more, right?
But the coaches get bonuses.
The coaches get bonuses.
They get bonuses for making the Elite Eight, the Sweet 16, the Final Four, and the championship game.
Well, as far as players now in the era, and then again, you might get more stipend or whatever the more you move on. But
we didn't hear about the numbers.
No. Right? But I think the idea is that, especially if you're at a smaller school, if you win a game or two in the NCAA tournament, there's nothing like the exposure of the NCAA tournament.
No, I'm talking about the hard cash that you get for making the playoffs,
right,
and advancing, in the bracket.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, because that's not a big topic of it, and I don't think that's a big portion.
I think that's a lawsuit coming, man.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously. I don't know. So all this makes is just interesting conversation.
Yeah,
it's interesting conversation. And so kudos to them.
Yeah,
that will motivate you.
Yeah, it will be interesting because that number right now, which 300,000 for the winner, that's a nice pot to split with.
So was that
15 players
for the players? Was that distributed to the NIL of the university? Do you know anything about that?
I think it could be somewhat up to the university. I'm not sure exactly when you go into the Crown, but I know that they specifically said this is for the players.
They did say the $300,000
And the idea behind it, again, it's an NIL-based tournament, is for the player.
Okay, and how many players on Nebraska basketball roster?
I think there's 15
So $300,000 divided by 25 is what?
or 15 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Divided
I
by
don't know.
15 is it 25,000 a piece or something?
Yeah, I think they're somewhere around 20,000.
That's a nice little payday. I mean, how long was the tournament? How many games?
It's
they
like a
play?
week. Yeah, they played
play a week,
4 games.
make
Yeah.
25 grand. That's probably what I make, all year.
Yeah, right. It's a good deal. It's a good deal for them.
Not quite, but yeah.
Yeah. So
You get my point.
yeah.
You get my
But
point.
it really is. It makes you because that number, it's interesting because you go through it and you're like, is that enough? Should they? Because the fourth place, the third place team get like 50,000 each, and then the second place team gets 100,000. I was thinking instead of just giving 300,000 to the champion, maybe give 500,000 to the champion and winner take
Now,
all.
I hope these kids have a good accountant, dude. I hope they're paying
Yeah.
taxes, man.
Yeah.
I hope they're paying taxes. I mean, I hope they make sure they got that covered.
Yeah,
man.
that's a large chunk sum. They're
They're
gonna
gonna end
have
up
to,
owing money when they go.
yeah.
I would think they would have to file their tax return.
And I gotta assume, and I don't know for sure, but the university, I mean, with
trying-
this era, I mean, they've got to be able to help.
I'm
them
trying
out
to
with
think
that.
if I filed taxes when I was in college. I don't know if I ever did or not.
You're,
Huh.
you're still within under the umbrella of your parents to a degree, right? So
Uh,
you're 20,
I worked a summer job. I don't know. I don't think I ever filed a tax return when I was in college. I don't think I did. Of course, I didn't make any money. Unfortunately, my Lincoln parents did make me work at Peddler Cisco. They actually made me work, dude.
Oh, they did.
Still got a little grief about that.
how often, like a part time?
I had to actually physically go to work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made me wear a tie and everything.
How many hours a week?
In the summer?
This is off season, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
obviously,
I worked, I don't know, I went in the morning and I was done like around 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Then I went to class and practice
Okay.
in the summer.
Yeah, that's a full day's work.
They actually made me work, man. A lot of
Yeah.
players were not working. I know some guys that just check in and go.
Yeah.
I got away with that my first year, and then I got fired.
Mhm.
McCaffrey and Clayton and I both got fired.
You guys did.
What?
You guys got fired from your.
We're doing
Little-
we're doing construction, man, and I never forget this. We're working at the Metal Gold here off of like 9th and P, and that was like my freshman year, and I have to be there like at 8 in the morning, and we go to these job sites, and we're literally doing construction, like digging holes and stuff. I was like, are you serious, man? Like, I'm the top recruit here, like,
Yeah.
and Broderick and some other guys have some really cushy jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, really, seriously, I was not happy about that.
How
so-
did these jobs? How did they decide that job for you, or did you?
I don't know. That's what I was not very happy about.
Yeah.
Well, okay, every guy got jobs, right? But did you actually really have to work and do something? That was the
Right,
thing, right?
yeah.
That was your summer job. This is the way it works, right? And I knew some guys that worked for Dieter Foundry at the time that were paid and really didn't do any work.
Yeah.
I mean, but my Lincoln parents were tough on me. So, well, anyway, no. So that was Metal Go. I was working with some construction. I was very fortunate. So, anyway, McCaffrey and Clayton and I were working down there, and we weren't like really working. We were just kind of like showing up and, on our,
Yeah.
doing whatever, right?
Sure.
And, but we weren't doing the hard labor work that these other guys were doing. So they fired us. They got fired. And so I kind of felt embarrassed. I wasn't working because I was just going off of Mac, and Mac was going to be the starting quarterback at the time. He was like, "Oh, dude, we can just, we
Yeah.
can just do this and that." I was a rookie.
Like, okay.
You
Yeah.
know,
Show me the
I
ropes.
figured I was in good hands.
Yeah.
But apparently, that employer was not very happy about that and let us go. And I remember Coach Darlington said, "What did you guys do?" I said, "Well, we didn't do anything."
That's the
We
problem.
didn't do anything. That's the problem. Anyway, so that was that. And so I didn't have any summer employment, but I didn't feel too badly about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I was making, like I don't even know what I was supposed to be making an hour. I wasn't
Yeah.
getting rich or nothing.
I would say, other than getting cut in football and all that stuff, is that the only job
That
you've
was a
been
life
fired from?
that was a life lesson though. It
Yeah.
really was. It was a life lesson. And so anyway, I was golfing at the Lincoln Country Club one day, and I will never forget this. I was on number 1, 2. I was on number 3, and I hit a ball by the fence on number 3 at the Lincoln Country Club, which is near South 27th Street. And as he walk, this is a true story. As I'm walking up to my ball, I see this Mercedes Benz pull up like on the side of the street and stop and get out of the car. And I don't know how, this is a true story. And anyway, he looked at me and said, "Hey," and we started talking. He goes, Are you Steve Taylor? And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "I'm Mr. Olsen from Olsen Construction. I hear you got fired."
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know how he recognized me or whatever, but maybe he knew I was playing. I don't know, right? Anyway, he said, "Well, come talk to me and we'll take care of you." Anyway, so I met with Mr. Olsen like the next couple of days, and we chatted. He said, "No, you can come work for me." He said, "We're not going to have you do any hard labor though."
There you go.
But you're going to learn the construction business, but you're not going to be pouring concrete. We don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
And so I did. So I showed up, and he kind of showed me the works and everything, how things going, and I got paid. And I wasn't doing all the heavy labor intensive stuff like they wanted me to do at the other job. Anyway, I developed a friendship with him, and then I ended up working for years. I knew his son, and whatnot, but he helped me out with that.
Yeah.
And then I later worked for Pegler and Cisco, which is my Lincoln parents' family owned the company, and that's when they really made me. They made me work.
Then you had to work.
I had to wear a tie, and I was in sales, and so I delivered. I used to drive those little Cisco trucks, man.
Oh, yeah,
A Citation. I had a blue Citation, and I used to deliver chicken and deliver products to like local vendors in the city.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that because it got me out of the office.
Yeah.
I got some fun stories about that. Lee Jones and I did that. Not to I guess I am rambling about that, but anyway, it was a life learning experience. If you're going to do a job, do it right and work.
Yeah. It's interesting, fun stories because I know that job thing you brought up. I know Terrell and VJ sometimes go at each other too because I think VJ had to go out in the sun and help paint in the stadium, and it was just hard work.
Because he wasn't. Was he in the top 50?
That's what I'm saying. And Terrell, I think his job was walk around the mall with the kids or something.
Hey, there are some perks when you're in a Hall of Famer.
That's right. Yeah. So it's always kind of fun to run those stories down. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We got more stories, more fun to come up here on Weekly Rap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac, nachos, and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K, or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Make plans to stop by Corn Coast Brewing this Saturday, April 12th for their Ales Helping Tales event, partnered with Parkview Animal Hospital. This semi-annual fundraiser collects donations and sells raffle tickets to raise money for Vets Get Pets, a program in the Nebraska Department of Veteran Affairs that helps with adoption fees for veterans. A special beer will be brewed, and the first 100 customers who buy the beer will receive a special edition Stadium Cup. That's all this Saturday at Corn Coast Brewing at 14th and Yankee Hill.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln. Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln Families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy. Afternoon high around 74. Tonight, a slight chance of showers, otherwise partly cloudy skies, low near 44. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy with a high near 69. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Now back to weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on Weekly Rap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor. Steve, I was just showing you during the break, I went to the library this week.
You go to the library still?
My son is 4 years old, so I'm teaching him.
You.
Yeah, I'm teaching him how to go to the library and read. Right now, he's picture books still, but we're working our way up. And to be quite honest, he just kind of goes and plays. They've got like toys and stuff, distractions.
So do you know how to navigate your way through the library?
No, I mean, it's more difficult with a child, but yeah,
okay.
To a degree.
Because I actually had a class my senior year in high school. I worked in the library.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
A librarian.
Yeah. She actually became a huge Husker booster.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but I did take I took a class, or I worked in the library, or I took a class. And it's interesting how I learned back then to look up books, how to find books, where they are, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really kind of educational to navigate your way through. I used to read quite a bit. I need to read way more than I don't read hardly anymore. I watch way too much stuff on TV. But I used to read quite a bit and I used to be able to navigate my way through all that stuff. So when you go to the library, you kind of feel a certain way. Do you feel?
Oh, yeah. Because there's so much education all around you. It's crazy.
Yeah. God, I need to do that.
Yeah, it was fun to go back to the library.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you got now?
Well, so I was taking my son around, and I figured I might go check. So I went to the as a kid, I would love to go to the library and pick out some sports books. So there's obviously
how did you find that book?
Big Husker selection. There's just some tabs that said sports over here. So I went over and saw into that section, and there's plenty to pick from. But I found this Husker trivia book. And I was particularly intrigued by it because it was created in 1994 before they won the title. Before they won the 94.
Before they won all the titles.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just kind of cool to see the perspective Like this book didn't know, despite the fact that, you know, they printed off, I don't know how many questions in here, 800 trivia questions.
Oh, really?
About Nebraska football. It had no clue what was just about to happen. You know, obviously the author in here, Lowell Grunke. I don't know how he's doing. I haven't checked it on him in any case. But Turner Gill even wrote like the foreword for it. So
he did?
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Turner Gill. Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I see. Yeah.
Didn't know he had writing skills.
It was just one page.
But still.
Says, I recommend Husker trivia to all Cornhusker fans, says Turner Gill. And then, you know, after a couple of paragraphs, says the book will provide many hours of enjoyable reading. It would also be entertaining to invite a group of Husker fans and try to compare your Husker knowledge. So,
you know what, dude? Now that we have this NIL stuff, so he probably was not compensated for that.
This was post-career. So this was in 94. He would have been on the staff, I believe.
I bet he still wasn't compensated.
Maybe not.
No, because we did so many things pro bono. Like guys would call me to get quotes or your opinion about this and that, and they're writing something and they're doing something.
Yeah.
And at the time, it's always a double-edged sword because you're thinking like you're kind of grateful and humble that they would even call you to get this. But then there's a business side of it, which is name, image, and likeness.
That's
They're
right.
profiting off of you being part of something.
Your name.
So
yeah,
technically,
absolutely.
you should be compensated for something.
Absolutely.
So now that this is all forefront, it's different now. Even when the NIL came out, I even changed my attitude as far as what I would do or not do.
Yeah, I bet
I mean,
a
I
lot
would.
of
I was
people
like,
did,
you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
Now I started doing when I was done pro-wise, but now it's like really like the little stuff. Like, no, I gotta be compensated.
Yeah. But you do remember doing a lot of like this sort of stuff for
free.
I
did tons of stuff.
Yeah.
And be frankly, I still do stuff to this very day.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older and no one cares about me anymore, it's not as prevalent as it once was. But anyway, go ahead. So what do you got in there?
Well, so it's interesting. There's 800 questions. Some of them obviously now outdated. So there's questions about who did this, but
records are made to be broken.
That's
and
right.
Whatnot, of course. So they will be eventually. Yeah.
But as I go through it, so I could find different records that you've had. There's plenty of questions in here about you.
Rashawn wasn't playing there, right?
Not quite yet.
He was a freshman, right? No, I'm just messing with. I'm just having fun.
But so like there's just like every page almost there's different questions. That
so I made the book
you
then,
in
I
here.
guess.
Right? Like which Nebraska quarterback had the most rushing attempts in his career? And then you go to the next page. Steve Taylor had 431 carries.
When it said that, did you think about who it may have been?
It would be difficult for me to do this because I was 4 when this book was written. So all this information, this is partially why I was intrigued by it, is stuff that I could use this book to learn a lot about kind of what the deals were.
You're like, hey, I know that guy. I have a show with him.
Oh, that too. But it's kind of funny.
He did do something. He's just not here because DP likes him.
That's right. But it's even really compliments you here. It says, which Husker quarterback set the school record for rushing yards gained in a career?
Oh.
Says the great Steve Taylor. Established
see?
a quarterback mark with 2,124 yard gains in his Husker career.
And I didn't pay that guy anything to say that. yeah, those are just facts. Yeah. It's funny.
But I mean, as I go through it, I realize you were the school record holder for a lot of different things because about every other page has a question. Which Husker quarterback scored the most rushing touchdowns in his career? Steve Taylor scored 32 rushing touchdowns in his career to establish the school record.
I'm blushing right now.
Yeah, that's right. Now, as like you said, your records are meant to be broken.
Oh, they were broken. Crouch probably broke them. Yeah. But they were there. There was people before me.
Yeah.
And it was some great teams before me.
Absolutely.
And some great quarterbacks.
And football's just changed, and obviously,
exactly.
philosophy and all that.
You make me feel so special. You make me feel good. How
well,
nice
it's cool.
It's funny, dude, because like I will get random texts from people and showing me like highlights when I played. This is today, right? And and what I did, right? And I was like, shoot, I was kind of fast.
That guy's fast.
I was like, wow, I could throw the football. It's just not in my imagination, right? Because I'm not just a legend in my own mind sometimes.
That's right.
So it once you get 58 like I am, and I could, as my golfing skills unfortunately are deteriorating, right? And my stamina and everything is just deteriorated. You're not 19, 20, 24, 25, 26 anymore.
Yeah.
And that takes a while to mentally wrap your head around. And I'm not the only. I mean, all the greats have gone through it, right? That's why watching what LeBron James is doing is just absolutely incredible. You know, you think of all the great players like the Jordans and the Birds and the Magic Johnson, you know, a lot of those guys, how they finished their careers. To see LeBron James doing what he's doing at 40-something years old on a basketball court is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
No, or the Tom Brady.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and all those guys, right? Now, things have changed. The game has changed dramatically, and the resources there to help prolong your career with, you know, nutrition and diet and all these type of things, you know, and just technology with your body, you know, freezing and all these things you're doing to prolong your career is amazing. But to be doing those type of things is just really amazing, you know.
Yeah.
And,
he is 40 years old.
40 years old, and he's running up and down a basketball court, playing at the highest level you can play, and playing some of the best basketball he's played in his entire career, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah, they're gonna have a chance at the championship with the Luka trade and all that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even go up and down staircase without holding on to it.
Yeah,
you know, I get on my knees and my knees are hurting. I mean, it's just amazing that Father Age is undefeated.
Well, you brought up LeBron, so I did want to ask you about this. I was going to maybe ask you about this anyways. Barbie has announced the creation of the LeBron James doll. So he's the first athlete, the actual Barbie. So now there's Barbie, Ken, and LeBron James. No,
in the Barbie collection.
Yeah. Now there's more than that, but those are the ones I know.
I don't know if I want to be in that category.
Well, probably some money to be made, I suppose, but I don't know how many people buy Barbies, first of all, these days. Or, is that still a popular toy for kids? And if you saw LeBron, would you want a LeBron James Barbie if you're a kid? I'm not sure, but I thought it was interesting.
You would have to ask that younger generation.
That's right.
You know, it is interesting to listen to the young generation. When I do see some podcast or some guy, I just saw a guy like on the Stephen A show, he's some media mogul, influencer. And he went on and on about LeBron James. They don't know Michael Jordan. See, we're all biased because, I can't speak for you, but for me, I think LeBron James is a phenomenal player. But I witnessed Jordan and Magic and Bird. But when you look at what LeBron has done, he's just as great. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is, these kids are going to think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player to ever play.
Yeah.
And there's other guys who before me felt like, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Or those guys.
Oscar Robertson. Yeah.
We're this and we're that. And you see highlights of them, they were,
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
That's why it's always just tough to compare eras.
It is.
But I agree with you. Like, even for my age, it's kind of interesting because when I think of Michael Jordan, I do feel, because when I was introduced to Michael Jordan, he's just winning champions. He's the best in the world. He's got, So when I think of Michael Jordan, that's the version I think of him. But even me, I'm a little biased in that because I didn't go through the Jordan can't win in the playoffs. Yeah. Jordan can't win without Pippen. Jordan can't beat the Pistons. Or so it's just kind of funny how where you start or jump on for the ride, where your opinion kind of bases off. So that's why I like to look at stuff like this to try to figure out what was going on before me and try to have more of an opinion than just before I was born or before I was aware.
And even with this, I noticed this because I've been watching a lot more women's basketball. Mm-hmm. I think there are decades and there are times where certain individuals was part of it that took the game to a whole new level. And I feel that way like with Bird, Magic, and Jordan.
Absolutely.
What it did for the NBA basketball, right? Same thing, you can talk about football teams. But just recently, I've been watching a lot of women's basketball. And, dude, they are outstanding. I mean, Caitlin Clark's records are already being broken. And that girl from Connecticut, UConn, Paige, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what she did as a freshman. JoJo from USC.
Yeah.
So many others. But you think of Caitlin Clark, what she did was like, and they're outstanding.
Well, I'm going to ask you.
So I'm like, I felt terrible that I didn't really watch that much women's basketball
before
them. But because of Caitlin and Reese from LSU, just the natural timing of, the good versus bad, the LSU, the whole.
Yeah, a little rivalry there.
The rivalry, brought it to the forefront. And now, you got all these commercials and advertisements and these athletes, they're outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw girls shooting from the logo, which Caitlin did all the time, but these girls been shooting from the logo. They're doing it,
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to really watch that. But man, there were a lot of and before that, all the great women basketball players that they had before them that now are being recognized because there's just more. They're being highlighted.
There's more attention to the
There's
sport.
more attention to the sport.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I'm still intrigued to see if the WNBA will ultimately benefit off this, or if college basketball, if it's going to be more just women's college basketball.
Yeah, these statistics. I don't know if I read this because I was, these statistics were down from when Caitlin played, like the viewership. But they were still higher than what they've ever been.
Okay, other than
right,
that,
so
yeah.
the sport has grown dramatically.
Yeah,
and it was viewed on a national scale very, very strong, and that it would be interesting to see if that continues. And I think it will because they're phenomenal players.
Yeah,
they're good, man.
Yeah,
and I can't believe I never really watched them that much.
Yeah,
I never did.
Like you said, sometimes it just takes a Trailblazers to kind of get the attention of the nation, and that's the important thing is post Caitlin Clark is the staying power that maybe she brought to the attention of the sport.
And Reese.
And Reese.
You
Absolutely.
wouldn't have Caitlin Clark without Reese.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vice versa,
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
LES wants your feedback. Help shape your electric utility's direction and priorities by taking an anonymous online survey. Make your voice heard before the survey closes on April 30th at les.com/survey.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Thanks for letting me stay over while my apartment's getting painted.
No problem. Oh, bagels are done.
Is it supposed to rain today?
Let's find out.
Hey, an entire video screen just came out of your toaster.
There's a 70% chance of rain today.
More things should be built in, like the multiplier in Mega Millions from your Nebraska Lottery. It's one of the new enhancements to the game, along with bigger jackpots and better odds.
Should I wear the blue or the green blouse?
Blue. It matches your eyes.
$5 Mega Millions top prize odds, 1 in 290 million.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month. Mix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right. Certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Now back to weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we got just a few more minutes here with Steve Taylor on weekly rap sessions with the All-American quarterback Steve Taylor. I did want to bring this up real quick because it came across my timeline in the last 30 minutes, and I don't know necessarily if Robin Wash is the one to break it, but he's the one that I saw the tweet from, so he gets the scoop for me. Robin Wash tweeting out, Nebraska has landed a commitment from St. Thomas transfer guard Kendall Blue, so kind of did some research on him. He's 6'6", 190, senior to be, shot 41% from beyond the arc last year. So Nebraska's going to have a lot of good shooters here. If you missed it too, they also add Will Cooper, who was a 6'6", 210-pounder who played for Millard South, spent his freshman season last year with Air Force and averaged 5.3 points and 1.8 rebounds per game. But Nebraska now has 5 transfers in the past 6 days.
Wow,
so
and we have a kid coming back, right? Who left Nebraska?
Yes, that's right.
then-
Jamarcus Lawrence returning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah.
So they're piecing that roster together, starting to look like I think they might only have. I have to double check. Maybe one recruit or one a scholarship left. So it's getting pretty close to a full roster, and we'll know what this Nebraska basketball team looks like. They've put a roster together. I think can be pretty competitive next year in the Big Ten to try to climb up those
So,
rankings.
okay, talking Nebraska ball, like, how do you feel about our season?
It's funny because it took a lot of the sting away from the end of the regular season.
did?
Because at the end of the regular season, it just felt, well, I still feel it feels like somewhat of a missed opportunity, right? Because I think this team could have won in the NCAA tournament, or at least, moved on or had an opportunity there. But altogether, when you kind of put it all together, right, it kind of takes you back to the '96 NIT championship that they had. Not exactly what you want, but still a good way to end the season. Most teams have to lose as their season ends. Nebraska gets to win.
It's interesting because I support the Huskers, and Fred is a great guy. I think Ernie is a great coach, Coach Ziegler, and I support the program. But I was annoyed. My wife, she was mad at me because she thought I was being a negative Nelly. Now I was annoyed, and it always goes back to this, honey. You're not an athlete, so you don't understand. And she just looks at me like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, you're not going to understand. I felt annoyed because you see this talent, like they look like a good basketball team.
Yeah.
They won the tournament. They beat Georgetown, wherever you want to put it, the status of this tournament, right? But they look good. I mean, they were knocking down threes, playing hard, and they won the tournament early in Hawaii. I said, only thing I can say is like having a child that's underachieving.
Yeah.
That's why I said to put it so you can understand, it's like having a child that's underachieving. I'm so happy for the team that they won the Crown tournament. No question about it. But I think about, why can't you do that consistently the whole year?
Yeah.
Like the whole year. Like, why you have the physical tools to do that and the mindset to do it. So just do it so I was more annoyed with everything because they had talent. And then you start thinking, okay, well, really, how much talent do they really have? Because then you have to look at March Madness and all those things. You watch
Final Four teams.
So you watch Duke and you watch Houston and you watch Auburn, and you think, okay, we really are a long ways away.
Yeah.
But they go do what they did. So you have that conflict. And so I hope these new players, these new acquisitions, and what are we going to do next year?
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, like you said, they talked about Bryce. Is Bryce Williams really an NBA player?
That's the question.
I'm not saying he's not. I mean, I know he could probably play overseas. There's nothing wrong with
absolutely,
that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But now, I can't gauge his skill level. I have an idea.
Yeah.
My nephew played in the NBA, and I saw a lot of NBA players. I know how good those guys really are. And you can see it even when you watch the Crown teams play and you watch the NC2A March Madness. You can see the physicality. You can see the difference in talent.
Yeah.
You can. As a person who played a professional sport and played at a high level, you can see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, kudos to them. I hope these players turn out to be great, and we have a really good Nebraska fall.
Yeah. It looks like they're putting the roster together. It should be pretty good. That'll wrap it up for our show today. Once again, we will have Terrell Farley in studio next week for Weekly Wrap.
I got to sign him to a deal, though.
Yeah.
I got to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, make sure his NIL is
his
doing well.
compensation.
Yeah, that's right. One-on-one with DP coming next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at the